friends, I am Dr. Zain Khatib from Khatib Eye Clinic, and today we will be discussing few important aspects about LASIK surgery, and I will be answering a few commonly asked questions by most people so that you will be educated and you will know more about the procedure. So the first thing that I am going to discuss about is what exactly is LASIK and what are we doing in LASIK. So I'll be showing this to you with the help of a few animations and explaining about how the whole thing happens. So here we have a normal eye. Just this diagram explains how the normal eye functions when there is no glasses for a person. So the rays that come from a distant object, they go and focus directly at the retina through the lens and the cornea and the pupil. So and a letter appears normal without being blurred. Now what happens when the eye is little longer than normal? So when the eye is little longer than normal, the rays that are supposed to focus on the retina, they actually get focused in front of it. And this phenomena is called as myopia or nearsightedness, which is the most common type of number that is seen in the population. So because the rays are focused in front of the retina and not exactly on the retina, the image appears blurred. So now in order to make this blurred image clear, the thing that has to be done is these rays have to be focused back on the retina. And to focus it on the retina, we use spectacles. So the glasses that are used for myopia are the concave glasses, which cause the light to converge less and diverge more, and because of that these rays which were converging more and focusing in front of the retina, they converge a little less and they focus on the retina. So with glasses the blurred image again appears clear. Now what do we do in LASIK? We don't have the help of glasses. So in LASIK we still need to make these rays focus on the retina. So what we do is this cornea, which is a curved structure in front, a laser is fired on the cornea to make its curvature lesser. So when you have a laser beam going and hitting on the cornea, you can see the laser causes the cornea to flatten out, and with this flattening of the cornea the rays go and focus back onto the retina and you get a clear image. So this is exactly what the laser is doing, and this is what the LASIK procedure is all about.
So let us see what happens in LASIK. First, an instrument called a speculum opens the patient's eye. Then a drop of anesthetic is applied, which doesn't allow the patient to feel pain. Then a special instrument called a microkeratome, which has a highly sophisticated motor, makes a thin flap on the surface of the cornea. Now once this flap is made by the microkeratome, the flap is lifted up and the laser machine applies the laser onto the cornea. Now this laser can be anything between 5 to 20 seconds depending on the spectacle number. The higher the number, the more time the laser is applied. Once the laser is done, the flap is replaced and the procedure for one eye is complete. So as you can see, with the laser applied, the cornea flattens out, and this is what helps correct the number.
Okay, so the next thing we are going to talk about is who is a candidate for LASIK and who is not a candidate for LASIK. So let us first start with age. So the lower limit for age for LASIK is 18 years. So we do not do LASIK if the patient is less than 18 years of age. And the reason for this is because the spectacle number goes on increasing as the size of the eyeball increases, and as the height of the person increases, the size of the eyeball can increase. So because of this, up till 18 years of age, we can expect an increase in height and an increase in spectacle number. So we cannot do LASIK if the spectacle number is going on increasing. We can only do LASIK once the number becomes stable. So after 18 years, we consider that the number is stable. So that is why 18 is the lower limit of age for performing LASIK. Now any patient who is above 18 years of age but the spectacle number is constantly changing, they also are not good candidates for doing LASIK, because LASIK can only be done for one particular number, and if the number is changing, there is a chance that the number may come back after surgery. So we want a number which is stable and not constantly fluctuating. There can be quite a few reasons why a patient's number is fluctuating even after 18 years of age. It can happen if the person is a diabetic. It can happen if a lady is pregnant during pregnancy, and 6 months after pregnancy is a contraindication to perform LASIK because the number is known to change during this period. So any person who also has some other coexisting eye diseases like cataract, glaucoma, retinal disease, etc., is also not a good candidate for performing LASIK. Now there are a few tests which are done prior to doing LASIK, and these are called as the pre-LASIK evaluation tests, and they help us find out certain parameters about the eye and the cornea which tell us whether the person is suitable for LASIK or not. So as shown on these tests, if a person has a very thin cornea, if a person has a very steep cornea, if the corneal topography shows that the cornea is quite irregular, so these people may not be suitable for LASIK. Now, having these features may not necessarily mean that the patient's eyes are abnormal. It just means that these eyes are not suitable for LASIK. And any patients whose eyes are not suitable for LASIK, there are other options to correct the number besides LASIK, which I will discuss about later. But these tests just tell us whether LASIK is possible or not possible. Now coming to the upper limit of age for performing LASIK. So for patients who are above 40 years of age who want to get LASIK done, there are certain things that you need to know. So any normal person who has a number or who doesn't have a number, after 40 years of age, every person gets a reading number, which is a normal phenomena, and this is called as presbyopia. So in case a person has another number, which is the nearsightedness or farsightedness, after 40 years of age, they are going to have that number as well as a separate reading number, that is the presbyopia. So you will be having two numbers and not one. So in such situations, it becomes extremely difficult to perform LASIK because LASIK can only be done for one number. We can change the shape of the cornea for one number. Now, if you have two numbers for distance and near, doing LASIK becomes very difficult. And suppose we do the LASIK for distance, you will still have your reading glasses needed. If you are willing to use your reading glasses only to read, we can of course do the LASIK for the distance vision. However, we cannot do LASIK only for reading vision because the person will get a number for distance even if the person did not have. So it is a bit tricky to do LASIK after 40 years of age. The patient needs to understand what he or she is going in for and needs to consult the doctor, and the doctor needs to counsel the patients very well. There are certain situations where we can do a procedure called as monovision, where we correct one eye for the distance number and one eye for the near number. It works in some patients but doesn't work in everyone. Again, if the patient does want to get rid of glasses even after 40 years, besides LASIK, there are other options. I won't be discussing about these options in this video, but anyone who is interested can ask their doctor. So the next question I am going to answer is, what are the pre and post-op precautions that are needed for LASIK? So as far as the pre-op precautions, there are none. Once the pre-LASIK evaluation is done and the patient is deemed fit for LASIK surgery, the patient can directly walk in on the day of the surgery. The surgery gets over in about 10 to 15 minutes for both eyes, and the patient can go home as soon as the surgery is done. There is no precautions or no drops that have to be put in the eye prior to the LASIK surgery. Coming to the post-operative after LASIK surgery, the precautions, healing process of LASIK takes about 48 hours for the flap to completely heal. So it is very critical for 48 hours or 2 days after the surgery that the patient does not touch or rub the eyes vigorously, because this can cause the flap to dislocate. So for that purpose, we give a pair of transparent glasses which the patient wears after surgery, and the patient needs to continue wearing those for 2 days for the simple reason that no dust goes in the eyes and the patients avoid touching their eyes after surgery. Once those 2 days are complete, the patient can go back to their normal routine and continue the eye drops prescribed by the doctor as per the regime. Okay, so the next thing which we will be discussing about is the common side effects that are experienced after LASIK surgery. So the most of the patients don't feel any side effects after LASIK surgery, and they can go back to their routine work within 2 days after surgery. But about 25 to 30% of patients do feel a mild discomfort or pain after the procedure. So we advise taking a painkiller tablet immediately after the surgery and going back home and just resting. And for few patients who do experience a little pain for another 2-3 days, we can prescribe painkillers twice a day for 3 days, and they should do fine. The second common side effect after LASIK surgery is dry eyes, which is quite common with LASIK, but it's not that troublesome. And the features of dry eyes include irritation of the eyes, burning, stinging sensation, sometimes a transient blurring of vision, especially if computers are being used immediately after surgery. So the next question we are going to address is, are there any long-term complications associated with LASIK? So you must understand that LASIK is the safest surgery performed anywhere in the world, and it's almost complication free with almost 100% success rate. But as you know that there is no surgery that is free from complication, and there is a 0.5 to 1% chance that there may be some complications after LASIK also. So what are these complications? So the most common complication is the dry eye, which may not resolve for even after 2 months, and it may continue for about 6 months to a year after surgery. Seen in very few patients, but if that does happen, then there have to be drops which have to be continued for a prolonged period of time after surgery. The second complication associated with LASIK is that there may be some complication related to the flap. That is, the flap was not being created correctly. But with all our experience and with the modern techniques, the only thing that it can manifest as is that the number does not get corrected. So we may tell you that there was some complication in the LASIK and we could not correct the number. So either it is not possible to do LASIK now, or that we may do it after 2 or 3 months. Rarely it may also happen that the number may not get completely corrected, just a part of it is corrected, and in order to correct the complete number we may have to do a second surgery to make sure that the entire number is gone. So these are some of the very rare complications that can be associated with LASIK, and the chances are less than 1%. But as you have understood that there's nothing serious, there is no if there's no thing like the patient loses their eyesight or something like that after LASIK surgery. There have been reports of some patients losing their eyesight in some centers somewhere else, but in our experience with us, we've not had a single patient who has lost eyesight because of any condition after LASIK surgery. So it's a very, very safe procedure. So the next question we are going to address is a very commonly asked question, and that is, will I get a number back after I do my LASIK surgery? So the answer to this question is very complex. So when we do the LASIK surgery, at that time 100% the number will get corrected. But there is a chance, maybe about 5 to 10%, that after 5 years, 10 years, 15 or 20 years, that the number may come back. And the number coming back is not because that the LASIK has failed. We do the LASIK on the cornea, that stays for life. But the number may come back because of certain biological variations in the size and shape of the eyeball. As I've already explained before, that the number is caused because the size of the eyeball is not as what normal people's is. So there may be small changes in that which can lead to a number coming back after few years of surgery. It doesn't happen in everyone, but it can happen in some people. And most of the times it is to the effect of 0.25 or 0.5 or 0.75 diopters, which doesn't need glasses actually, if such a number does come back. But if at all a number comes back and the patient wants to get rid of that as well, we can always do a second procedure called as an enhancement, later on whenever the number comes, where we remove the number at that time. So yes, the number may come back in certain situations, not because of the LASIK failing, but because of the biological variations in the normal eye. So the next question I am going to address is that if my eyes are not suitable for LASIK, then are there any other options available for me? So yes, there are always options available besides LASIK. So we do a pre-operative test to tell us whether LASIK is possible or no. But suppose something has come up on our test, like the cornea is too thin or something, so we can always do another laser-based procedure with the same laser but not LASIK, and that is called as surface ablation or PRK or streamlight, where we do not raise the flap but we apply the laser directly on top of the corneal surface. So why do we raise a flap? Why do we not do this procedure in the first place? Is because what happens with this procedure is that there is a little more pain than LASIK. The pain may continue for a few days after surgery, much more than what it was with LASIK, but not that much. And also that the vision doesn't improve immediately after the surgery. It may take time. It may take 1, 2, or even 3 weeks sometimes for vision to start improving, and maybe about a month to 2 months for full vision to be recovered. Of course, after 2 or 3 months, the vision is as good as what it would be with LASIK, but in LASIK, the vision comes back much faster. But in case the patient is not suitable for LASIK, we can always do this PRK or surface ablation procedure to get rid of the glasses. Now, if the patient's number is too high, we cannot do LASIK for a very high number. In that case, we do another procedure called as the phakic intraocular lens, or the ICL, where we put a permanent lens inside the eye. So this procedure has excellent results. It can be done for very high numbers, even up to 20, minus 20, minus 25, and it works very well. The only drawback is that we don't do both eyes together, so it is one eye done at one time and the next eye done on a separate day, and that it is much costlier than the LASIK procedure as such. More details can be understood by discussing with your doctor. So the last thing I'm going to be discussing about is the effect of 2 C's on LASIK. The first C is contact lens and second C is computer use. So what is it about contact lenses and LASIK? So just understand one thing: when a patient wears contact lenses on the eyes, some amount of nutrition is definitely reduced, and it is a well-known fact that dry eyes is commonly caused because of excessive contact lens use. Not the occasional users, but for those who use it on a regular basis every day, yes, it does have some effects on LASIK. So the ideal recommendation is that we stop contact lenses at least 14 days prior to LASIK, because contact lenses also cause dry eyes and LASIK also causes dry eyes. So the dry eyes after LASIK is more prolonged if contact lenses have been used. So if not 2 weeks, at least as much as possible before the LASIK, the contact lenses should be avoided. And if you are planning a LASIK surgery in the near future, please try to avoid contact lenses as much as possible till the LASIK surgery. Your post-operative results will be much better. Not that the number will not get corrected, the number will definitely get corrected even if contact lenses are used, but the dry eyes, pain, discomfort, these will be much lesser if you use contact lenses beyond 2 weeks before the LASIK surgery. What about computer use? So computer use is another thing. So what happens is computer uses causes a lot of dry eyes. So when a person uses computers a lot, the blink rate reduces because we tend to concentrate on the screen. A normal person blinks 15 to 20 blinks per minute, but with excessive computer use that can go down to as much as 5 to 8 blinks per minute. So this again causes the eyes to become dry. So a person who has a lot of computer use, more than 6 to 8 hours per day, immediately going back to work after LASIK may definitely cause some more dry eye than normal, and the symptoms such as blurring, transient blurring of vision, irritation, burning, headache, these may happen more than what would happen to a normal person. The only solution is that we make sure that we keep blinking. Do not panic with these things. Of course, you can go back to your normal computer work even after LASIK. We may increase the dose of lubricating eye drops, but eventually the dry eye treats itself if the good habits are taken care of, like making sure we don't look at the screen continuously and we make sure we blink a lot. So yes, that is more or less it about LASIK in a nutshell, and it's a very safe procedure. Everything goes on very smoothly, and there's nothing to be worried about. If at all you do want to get rid of your glasses, doing LASIK is a very good option.